I'm being recorded. Pin. Okay. Okay. For those of you who are going to watch this later, welcome to Pea Patch Yoga. We're going to just do a little bit of yoga this morning and hopefully peace out a little bit and warm up for our day. So let's start. We're going to start in child's pose. So coming onto your mat, big toes come together, knees come wide, and we just slowly take our arms forward and take our forehead to the ground. And you're just bringing your beautiful or hard or whatever it is Monday morning to your mat. Bringing whatever comes with you is totally fine. Just bring it and we'll let it find its place. So just coming to the mat, beginning to notice what your breath is doing, how you're feeling, if you feel energized this morning or if you feel tired from a big weekend. Just kind of taking notice of those things for just a moment. And as we're sitting here, we'll start to let our breath get a little deeper. Taking those full breaths that will fill up our lungs, fill up our rib cage, even all the way into your belly. And then releasing all that breath out. And we'll come to notice in those big, deep breaths, the pause at the top of your breath and the pause at the bottom of your breath. And out. Just a couple more breaths here. Our theme for today is going to be presence, just being present to our body in this hour, present to this moment in time. The day will surely come upon us, but for right now, we get to just be present in our body, present in our mind, present in our breath, which does so much healing work and prep work for a good, awesome week. So from here, let's come up into tabletop. Our wrists are directly below our shoulders, knees are directly below our hips. And we're just going to go into a couple of cat-cows connecting with our breath. So as we inhale, we drop our belly, lift our chest and heart to the sky, lifting that tailbone to the sky. And then as we exhale, we go opposite, pulling the belly button to the spine, rounding the shoulders. And inhale, starting from the tailbone, we come back into cow. And exhale to cat, pulling that belly button to the spine. Take a couple more of these on your own time. Inhaling to cow and exhaling to cat. That's good. And then coming back to neutral spine. Let's curl our toes and come into our first down dog of the day. So curling our toes under, taking our hips to the sky and feeling that first glorious stretch of the day. You can pedal out your feet as you find your spot. Your knees don't have to be straight, of course. The goal is to have a long line from our fingers to our tailbone and from our tailbone down through the floor in our heels. And breathe into that. And on our next inhale, let's walk our feet up to our hands. Feet will be hip width apart, and we're just going to hang here in forward fold for just a moment in actual ragdoll. So grabbing your elbows with your opposite hands, letting your head just release to the floor. You can bend your knees and get a different kind of stretch. I find it easier to stretch through my hips if my knees are bent, which is where I am tighter in my hips than I am in my hamstrings. So you can nod your head yes and nod your head no. Feeling that upper back open up too. On our next inhale, we're gonna come into a flat back. So pressing back against your shins, pulling that belly button to your spine, shoulders retract down your back, and then we exhale, forward fold. And inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. We'll take one more just like that. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. This time coming up to a standing position with a flat back all the way up to the sky, reaching the arms way up over our head. And exhale our hands to heart center. So let's first find our awesome Tadasana here. Your feet are hip width apart, lifting all 10 toes and placing them down on the ground. You can feel the really 5 centers of your feet, but we'll go with 3. Where your big toe and your little toe connect with the ball of your foot, and right under your heel, anchoring those spots down, lifting up the kneecaps, tailbone comes down, belly button comes in, rib cage lifts and closes, shoulders back and down, hands reach for the floor, and there's a string pulling up through the top of your head, getting you taller and taller and taller. We just find a super strong Tadasana here for just 2 breaths. From here, let's inhale our arms up to the sky. We can interlace our fingers. And as we exhale, we're gonna come to the right side or the left side, whichever way you wanna go first. Keeping your ears right in between your biceps and inhaling back up. Getting taller before we move. We come to the other side. We're not dumping into one side. We get longer, long, long, long arches. And up to the middle. One more time each side. Exhale. Pulling the booty in, pulling the belly button in to stabilize your core. And up. And the last one to the other side. And up. Excellent. Okay, we're going to come into our first chair position and build a little bit of heat. So arms come above our head and we sit back into our chair, feet are hip width apart. And if this gets too much for your arms, you're welcome to bring your hands into heart center. Your weight is equalized through your foot, but I would say mostly in your heel if you're gonna go anywhere with it, so that your knees are directly over your heels. And as we're sitting here, we pull our belly button in, not too much of an arch or round in our back, just nice and neutral. We're building heat. And we inhale to the sky and we sit back down into chair. And we inhale up and we exhale to chair. This is just a chair flow. We'll find our breath here. We're gonna do an Ujjayi breath, which is breathing with your mouth closed, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, but you're making a sound, like as if you're fogging up a mirror, even with your mouth closed. So we breathe in, and that's easy. And we exhale, making steam on the window, but keeping our mouth closed. And on this inhale, it's forward fold on our exhale instead. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, back to down dog. Finding that tailbone really high in the sky, feeling the stretch in those lats. And then we inhale forward into our first plank of the day. Let's hold it here for just a moment. If you'd like, you can come down to your knees. And we're gonna turn our elbows forward and we're gonna come down through a chaturanga all the way to the floor. And then we'll inhale our heart up to cobra. Anchoring those hips to the floor, pulling the belly button to the spine, engaging those back muscles. And then we push back to down dog. Take 2 breaths here. On your next inhale, you come up on your toes. Exhale, bending the knees. At the bottom of your exhale, you walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, flat back up to the sky. And hands to heart center. So we're gonna do a couple of more sun salutations. You're welcome to do it on your knees like I just did with a cobra, or you can stay up on your toes and do a full chaturanga and up dog. Inhale those arms to the sky, please. Let's forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Find your breath. It feels good to take big breaths here. Inhale, forward plank. Exhale, chaturanga on your knees or your toes. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And exhale to down dog. Inhale, coming up to your toes. Exhale, bend those knees at the bottom of the exhale. Bring your feet to your hands, however that works. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up to Tadasana. And hands to heart center. Let's go one more of those. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Connect your breath to your movement. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward to plank. On your knees or toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, up on your toes. Exhale, bend the knees, bringing the feet to the hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna do sun sal B once or twice through. We'll see how our timing's going. So we start in chair. Inhale to chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank, knees or toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale the right foot between your feet, dropping the back heel, coming up to warrior one. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. And we'll meet in down dog. Inhale, left foot comes forward, coming on up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. And inhale to plank. We'll take a chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Inhale up on your toes, bend those knees, hands to your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair. Inhale to standing, hands to heart center. Let's go one more time, just like that. So it's chaturanga, warrior one, chaturanga, warrior one, chair. We start with chair two. Inhale those arms up. Here we go, sitting to chair. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg forward, back heel down, up to warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. I know this moves quickly, but that's okay. We're just building fire. It'll slow back down in just a second. Left foot comes forward, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, up on your toes. Exhale, all the breath out and bring your feet to your hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to chair. And we'll hold it here for just a moment. Finding the soft edge of the hard place. Finding the present moment. What is your body doing? What does it need? What is your breath like? And inhaling up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's find our Tadasana stance here again. Feet are hip width apart, kneecaps are lifted, booty's under, belly button's in, rib cage is lifted and closed, shoulders back and down, hands reaching for the floor. That opens up your collarbone. That's powerful and present. Moving on, just making sure of our time. Moving on to our standing poses. Inhale those arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. We're really going to get into breathing now. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. Taking the right leg to the sky, we're going to bend our knee and open our hip and get a really beautiful stretch here for just a second. And on your inhale, bring the knee to your nose, get a good little tight ab engagement there, and then we bring our foot between our hands, drop our back knee to the floor, and stretch that left hip flexor. You can keep your hands on the floor or come up a little bit. Oh, buddy. If you pull your belly button in, that just gives you even more stretch in that hip flexor. So we've got a couple breaths here. Bringing our hands to the floor. We're going to tip or tuck the back toe under and straighten our back knee if you'd like to. Now you're really focusing on that line from the head all the way through the heel. And from here, if you've got a block, that's awesome to hold your hand underneath your left hand, but we're going to take our right hand to the sky for a first simple stretch of the day, or simple twist. And you can even, if you'd like to, give your arms a couple little rotations. Move back. Inhale as you come forward, up, and exhale to the back. One more. And as we come around, let's come up into crescent. So if you need to adjust your feet so you have a wider stance, that's totally fine. Coming up into a crescent lunge, trying to square the hips. So pull that right hip back. Tuck this tailbone under. And find a spot to focus on to be in this present moment. And then bringing our hands to heart center, we'll hinge forward from our hips. So we got that long line from head to toe. And then if you'd like, you can take a deeper twist toward your right knee, hooking the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. And breathe. Now this is a hugely deep stretch for my left hip. Okay, hands to the floor. Let's push gently to down dog. You can stay here and breathe and fill your lungs with breath, or take a vinyasa with me. And we'll all meet in down dog in just a second. One big breath here. And on our next inhale, let's take the left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. And then on your next inhale, bring your knee to your nose, or exhale, I guess, and bring the foot in between the hands. We'll drop our back knee to the floor and get that awesome stretch in our right hip flexor this time. You can come up on your knee if you want more. Again, if you want even more, pull the belly button back to your spine. That gives you even more space in that right hip. And from here, we'll tuck the back toes, lengthen that leg, really sending energy out that back heel and through your head. So you have a beautiful long line of energy happening. That front knee is tracking right over that heel. It's not pushing out to the side. And we leave our right hand on the floor as we take our left arm to the sky. Can't see because the sun's in my eyes. And we can rotate our shoulder if we'd like to. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you open up that chest and arm. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. And on this last one, let's adjust your feet and come up to crescent. Trying to square off the hips, pull that left hip back. See how I just was like, whoop. Pull that left hip back. Closing the rib cage so you're not here. Close it. And bringing our hands to heart center, we're gonna hinge from the hip till you have that long, gorgeous line from head to toe, and then twist toward that left knee. You'll notice my knees directly over my ankles. Try not to be up here, right? Directly above it. And breathe. And we'll bring our hands to the floor. We'll gently press back to down dog. You'll either stay here and have your whole body, some big, beautiful breaths, or you'll come through chaturanga with me. Those 2 options serve completely different needs. It's not like a modification or anything. It's just a totally different need. Does your body need to receive the pose, or does your body need to keep going? We're going to take each side one more time, but as breath leading our movement. So it's like 1 breath per move. So we'll inhale those arms to the right foot to the sky, open up the hip. And we'll bring our foot forward in between our legs. No, wait, sorry. Dropping our back knee. Getting a good stretch. Curling our toe under. Lengthening that back leg. Taking our twist. We'll go 1 rotation. How was I doing this before? And we'll come up to crescent. And we'll hinge forward into that twist. And hands come to the floor, to down dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa. And lead us in down dog. Inhaling the left leg to the sky, opening it up. Bringing the foot in between our hands and knee comes down. Great stretch there. On your next exhale, twist, putting the toes under and lengthening that back foot. Next inhale, or exhale opens up the arm. And we exhale back. Inhale up. 1 more, and we'll let that take us right up into crescent. And we hinge forward into our twist. And we come to down dog. We stay here. Actually, everybody takes a vinyasa. Faces in my plants. Coming to down dog. 2 good breaths here. Center everything again. Taking that tailbone to the sky. When we inhale up to our toes, exhale all that breath out and bring our feet to our hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up to extended mountain pose. Hands to heart center. Moving on to our second series. I'm just going to check our time here. Yep. Bye, Megan. Love you. Thanks for coming. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down dog. This time we're going to bring our right foot forward for a warrior one. So adjusting your feet, your back toes, your back heel is on the ground, sending energy down the outside of your left leg, all the way through the outer blade of your left foot. Right toes are facing the top of your mat. Left toes are at 10 o'clock. Turning your torso to face the top of your mat. Your hips will eventually follow. But more important is this energy. And as you exhale, let's open up to warrior two. You might need to adjust your feet so that the arch of your back foot lines up with the heel of your front foot. Arms are out at a T. Shoulder blades pulling together even as you're reaching out and gazing at that right finger. Flipping that right hand to the sky, we're going to get taller before we come back to reverse warrior. So when you're not dumping into your side, you're getting taller and coming back. Tall. Let this right femur drop. Yeah? And coming back through warrior two. We're going to come into a side angle. So your right elbow comes to your right knee. Left arm opens, open. Not further than this flat plane, but so that you can reach your hand to the sky. Chest is completely open. If you'd like more, you can take your hand to the ground. And if you would really like more, you can take a bind, which I am not awesome at. This is my spot still. And both hands come to the ground. We press back to down dog. Again, stay here and breathe, or come with me through a vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And we breathe. Yoga is really a breathing class with a side of movement. Breathing is the most important part. We'll bring our left leg forward this time into a warrior one. You might want to take your right leg out just a little bit so that you're not standing on the same train track. You've got a little bit of space. Energy is going down the outside of your right foot leg into the outer blade of your right foot into the ground. And breathe. Pulling the shoulders out of your ears. And we open into warrior two. You can adjust your feet again. Placing the weight in your left big toe. Even as you push your left knee out, it'll create stability for you. Flipping that left hand to the sky and taking the arm up. Lifting longer, 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 longer. Rooted down through your feet, coming up through your arm and head. Coming back through warrior two, we'll come into side angle here. Left elbow goes to the left knee, right arm comes to the sky. Pull that top shoulder down your back. That helps open up the collarbone. Again, taking the bind if that's in your practice. And both hands come to the floor. We transition to down dog. And we stay here for a good deep breath, or you take a vinyasa. And exhale to down dog. So just like last time, we'll take that a little bit faster, breath to movement, one time each side. Let's inhale our right leg forward into a warrior one. And we exhale into warrior two. We flip that arm and we come back for reverse warrior. And into side angle. We're finding the flow here. Let's do that one more time actually. Warrior one, inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale to reverse. And exhale, right angle. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, right angle. Nice work. From here, we'll take our hands to the floor, pressing to down dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa. I need to fix my mat. And we're meeting down dog. And we'll do the same thing on the left leg 3 times through. So we bring our left leg forward, warrior one. Inhale, up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And exhale, side angle. And inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, right angle. One more time. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, right angle. Excellent. Bring both hands to the floor. Press to down dog. Stay here or take a vinyasa. Inhale. And down dog. Take a breather. Stay here. I just need to check the time. Good job. From here, we're going to come up on our toes. Exhale, bend the knees. All the breath comes out at the bottom of that breath. You bring your feet to your hands, however that works best for you. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Come back to your breath. Take your feet hip width apart. Let's find our stance here. Let's find our strong mountain pose. Come back to your breath. Come back to the present. Letting our bodies receive the work that we just did. From here, we're going to do one balance pose. And today we're going to do half moon. So what you want to do is you want to find a warrior two, basically. Warrior two. And if you have a block, this is a really great one to use a block for. So to get into half moon, basically you're going to take all the weight onto your right foot and balance, right? So you can be here. You can come all the way to the ground, holding onto a block, holding onto whatever. The goal is to have your hips open, your shoulders open, your arms out at a T, your foot sending energy so strongly through that back wall you can't even believe it, and through the floor, and through this upper hand. Yep. If you're up here, if your hand is on your hip, if you are here, All of those, just as good. Woo! So to come out of that, let's bend our knee, come back through warrior two. And we'll straighten our leg and relax. Nice work. Let's go to the other side. Find your warrior two on the other leg, whichever leg you haven't just done, right? You're strong here. Your rib cage is over your hips. Abs are engaged, hips are tucked and tight. Everything is just good, right? So from here, from that place, your core is solid. You start adjusting and trying to pick up that foot off the floor. If you have a chair, that's awesome too, because you're really engaging these abs, opening up the chest. You're really working the core and that bottom leg, pulling up even as you're pressing down through the floor, right? And you eventually whoop, fall over or find your spot. Your gaze can be at the floor, out in front, or above. The simplest place, the most stable place is the floor. And then as you get courage, you take your gaze up. Pulling up through that hip as you're pushing down through the floor. Good job. Bending that front knee. Coming back to warrior two, nice and gentle. The transitions are everything, right? And relax. Let's go ahead and just take a forward fold here. Flat back over. Nice, good straddle. I love to take my hips back and forth in this position, but you can bend your knees, whatever you need. And then let's heel toe our feet in a little bit so they're a little bit wider than your hips. And we'll come down into Malasana, which might be my very favorite pose. You can hold on to something in front of you as well, or you can stay up here. Wherever you are is like the perfect place. The perfect yoga pose truly is you doing it. That is the perfect yoga pose because that's where you are in your process. That's where you are in your practice. Our bodies are all made differently. Hip joints do different things in different people. I'm still in this position pretty hunched over. There's people who are like, oh, sitting super high, all wrapped up and everything. And I'm not. I'm right here. This is my spot. Good job. When we take our hands back down to the floor, turn our heels back, toes front, and we'll just shake it out. Come up with a flat back. And we'll move on. Looking at our time. Perfect time. Okay. We're going to make our way down to the floor. So we're going to inhale our arms to the sky. Oh, yeah. Let's open our arms to cactus and really open up our heart. And inhale, arms up. And just exhale your arms down. Not coming forward, just standing. Let's do that one more time. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, open the heart and arms to cactus. Inhale those arms to the sky. And exhale, hands down. We'll do one more and we'll make our way to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to cactus is right here. Inhale, arms up. This time, let's forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold, and we'll come down to our knees. We're gonna do a little bit of camel here. So sitting up high on your knees, taking your hands into your back pockets. So on your booty, in your back pockets. Elbows reach for each other, shoulders come back, and we press our hips forward as our spine extends long. You're not dumping into that low back or middle back or neck. Think long, think creating space in that spine extension. And gently coming out of that, sit back onto our knees for just a moment. You can roll out your wrists if they need that. Roll out your neck if it needs it. Roll out your shoulders if it needs it. We find different positions that are particularly simple or particularly panicky. And I find any spinal extension panicky for me. So I got to go smaller. I got to go slower, and I've got to breathe deeper in those moments to ease that anxiety. So you're welcome to come and do the same thing again. If it's in your practice, you're welcome to reach for your heels and push forward, or one arm, whatever you want. I'm going to go from both my heels this time. So I would suggest actually do either camel right here or go for both your heels, because we're only doing it one more time. So you wouldn't really have time to do both sides. So do the same thing we just did, or if you would like to take it deeper, take your hands to your heels, pressing your hips forward, bringing those shoulders back and opening up the heart. Slow down your breath, Patty. And gently coming up and out of it, we sit back on our heels. And we receive that pose. And from here, let's come into tabletop, and then actually we'll just come down onto our bellies. So belly, ribs, chest. And we're going to do a little bit of locust. And actually, this is where we'll go one hand and the other. So taking your right hand across the top of your mat, bending your left knee, reaching back for your left hand if you can. If you can't, you can just have your hands straight down and we'll just come up like this. Both legs, both arms extended. But if you want to go a little deeper, taking your right hand across the top of your mat, reaching back for your left foot, and then pushing that foot into your hand, come up into half bow. Deeper back bend, but still supported. Staying there. And if you are here on the floor, both your hands are reaching, both your feet are reaching, and you just lift your entire chest up off the floor. Everybody release that. Come down to a rest with one cheek on the floor. Wiggling those hips out. And as we do this again, you'll either do the locust like I just showed, or you'll take your left hand across the top of your mat this time, reaching back for your right foot with your right hand, kicking into that right hand with your right foot, anchoring both hip bones onto the ground. Pull the belly button to the spine. Let that shoulder open up. And release. Other cheek to the floor. Release those hips. And we'll press back to child's pose. Yes, just let that low back chill. And breathe into it, stretch it out, be gentle. From here, we'll come into a seated position. So let's take our legs around into a staff pose. So your feet are straight out in front of you. You can move the flesh from your sitting bones. It's super important you're right on your sitting bones. So actually, if you have a pillow, if it's hard for you to do that with straight legs, to sit right up tall, if you feel like you're sitting a little bit like this, right? You want to sit up on top of a pillow or something that raises your hips just a little bit, takes your hips above your legs. Easier to sit right on top of those sitting bones. From here, legs are extended out in front of you. Let's take our arms up to the sky. And with a flat back, we'll come over as far as we can go. With a flat back, pull those shoulder blades back. Flat back. We'll round over in just a moment. And from there, go ahead and just round over. It shifts the stretch from my hamstrings, When I round, it shifts it into my hips and into my upper back. Totally different. As our stretches start to slow down too, you can really focus on being present in this moment. Focus on what your breath is doing. Focus on how your body's feeling. It can be as simple as like, this is what my toes look like today. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Coming back up to a seated position, let's go ahead and do a twist. So we're gonna pull our left leg in. Let's go ahead and take our hands behind our head. And starting from your belly button, you're gonna get longer and twist. Instead of just twisting, get longer and twist. And once you've twisted as far toward that left leg as you can, bring your arms down. You can give your left leg a hug. And as you inhale, we get taller. And as we exhale, we twist. Massaging all those organs. Getting all that fascia moving in your body well. Getting rid of the fascia that built up overnight. And we exhale, coming back to the center, straighten that leg out. We'll pull the right leg toward us. Hands go behind the head. We lift up before we twist. Get taller before you twist. And once you're there, you can give yourself a hug. These poses do such beautiful work for the inside of your body. And our insides need so much support. Unraveling yourself, let's come to the center. We're gonna do just a quick little boat pose. So coming back onto the flesh between your sits bones and your tailbone, right? You've still got that flat back. Pull, like somebody's pulling a string on your chest, pulling it up. Keeps your back straight. And then from here, you're welcome to stay here, holding onto the back of your leg. You can take your knees up if you'd like to. You can reach your arms forward. You can straighten your legs. Wherever your practice is, the thing that I'm looking for is where you're uncomfortable, but not chaotic, not super anxiety ridden and stressed, but uncomfortable, pushing yourself a little bit. Adjust your back if you need to. I start rounding, right? Pull it back up. And release. Let's come into a butterfly. We'll take the soles of our feet together. Knees come out to the sides. And you are welcome to be flat back here or rounded over, whichever works for you right now. Just releasing. And coming back up, we're going to make our way down to the floor. So coming down into a supine position, let's start by pulling our knees into our chest, giving yourself a well-deserved hug. I like to roll back and forth, give my low back and kidneys just a little massage. And from here, let's take one knee into our chest. And you can straighten that leg as much as it will go, keeping that bottom leg straight too. So if you're up here, that's fine. Really utilize that bottom leg, making that bottom leg long and strong and pointed, sending energy out through both sets of toes. You'll get a better stretch. And pulling that knee back into the chest. Let's take that leg across our body into a supine twist. You can lengthen that right arm out to the side of your body. I like to adjust my shoulders so that both shoulder blades are on the floor. And then take a gaze at your right hand. And pulling that knee back to the chest, releasing it. Ooh, and we'll switch knees. Go ahead and pull your left knee in. Give it a nice squeeze. And then we lengthen that left leg, even as we are still lengthening our right leg as well. Getting a good hamstring stretch, but strengthening that right foot as well, right leg. And pulling that left knee to the chest. Let's tweak the twist toward our right side this time. Adjusting the shoulder blades, reaching out that left hand, and gazing toward those left fingers. Pulling that knee back into the chest. Let's come into a little, let's do bridge before we go to happy baby. So taking our heels as close to our booty as we can. Feet are about hip width apart. Hands are anchored down into the ground. We're going to peel our pelvis up off the floor. Anchoring the entire foot to the ground, right? Not rolling out on the outside, but anchoring the foot to the ground. Pressing the pelvis up. This just gets stronger and stronger and more comfortable as we practice it. Find your breath. And release down to the ground. We'll take the feet out to the wide edges of the mat and bring the knees together for a little back release. And then we'll do that one more time. Bringing our feet back, hip width apart, hands are anchored into the floor. Think about elongating that shoulder or the collarbone. You can even tuck the shoulder blades underneath if you'd like to as you come up. Really opening up the chest area and the back of the neck open, long, long, long. Relaxing the belly, letting the glutes and hamstrings and back to the work. And release. This time for our rest, let's take our feet up into happy baby. So the feet come to the sky, knees are coming to the armpits. If you'd like to, grab your peace fingers around the big toes or around the outsides of the foot. Releasing, this is how a happy baby would lay in its crib. Keeping that low back though, that sacral, that triangle, the sacrum bone in the back of your hip on the floor, right? So if you can't, if you're up like this, bring your feet closer to the ground. You can even hold on to the back of your hamstrings instead. Do you want to keep that there? Because this is just an awesome massage for that area of your body. Let me just check our time. Perfect. All right. From here, we're going to release ourselves into Shavasana, Beautiful Shavasana. Feet come to the edges of your mat and just lay. Hands face the sky. You can put something over your eyes if the sun is shining straight into them like it is mine. And this is where we just rest. We release all of it. We release the effort, we release the ease, we release the expectations, and our body just receives the work we just did. So we'll lay here in total silence for 2 minutes, and I will bring you out of it when we're finished. And you can start coming back to your breath a little bit, deepening that breath just a little bit, wiggling those fingers and toes, taking a big stretch over your head, and rolling onto your side. We'll make our way up into easy pose, crisscross applesauce. And we'll bring our hands to heart center. And we will say thank you to ourselves for showing up. And thank you to our body for showing up for ourselves. Thank you to our lungs for breathing all that beautiful oxygen into the various cells of our body that need it the most. And thank you to our muscles for being willing to stretch and open and hold and all of those things. And thank you to each other for showing up for each other. Thank you to God for the opportunity to do this on this day. So I thank you for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Namaste. See ya.